I'm Lindsay Lippman, a Mexia native. I grew up here, loved growing up here. Came back to work in local news, and I don't live here anymore, but I always wanted to tell the story of our hometown treasurer, Cindy Walker. And so when I came back home, I found out there's many people who love to tell the stories about Cindy Walker, but her home itself is in bad shape. It needs to be rehabilitated, and there's a lot of support in the historical community for doing so and making sure that this can be something, because the home is where she wrote You Don't Know Me, her biggest hit, Dream Baby, and the list goes on and on and on. I believe she had, the number is about 600 published songs, but every morning she rose with the roosters, who you can still hear, at 5 a.m. She drank her coffee black, and she'd go up to her writer's studio and write every day. She treated it as a business, as a job, and that's what she would do, and she would never leave a song halfway finished. That was Cindy's room in there, and this was her writing studio. She would come in here every morning. This is her desk, and all of this is exactly where it's been. And her typewriter was right here. She had a backup typewriter, and she would just start clicking away. A lot of people describe that that's the sound that would be coming out of this room, is the typewriter clicking. And she had a record player over here, but this really was her sanctuary. This is where she created her music. When we started, her nieces and I, when we started the process of saving the house, even they didn't realize what was still in there as far as items of historical and musical importance. So that song has never been recorded. Late 50s to early 70s. King of My Heart. So we don't know what's on it till we get it digitized. The first time I saw the property, the front door was wide open. And I was like, oh my God, you know. Imagine if you take a peek in here, this is what the house looked like. Just filled to the brim. All the stuff in here. Yeah, it's crazy. All the greats would come and visit her here. I mean, it was amazing, you know. So we're talking about Bob Wills has been in this house, Ernest Tubb has been in this house, and on and on. Her Rolodex we found right over there. And I mean, she had everybody on a first name basis and all of their private phone numbers, because that's what she would do. She would call them up and say, I've been working on this song for you, I want you to hear it. And she would pitch directly. This was the edge of town, quiet, so she could write. Yeah. Peaceful, you know. And then of course she started to get neighbors, but she was friendly with the neighbors. She would walk to downtown. So in the 50s and 60s, you know, she didn't drive. She never drove. She never got on an airplane. When she would go to Nashville, she would get on a train in Buffalo, which is just down the road. She'd take a taxi to Buffalo and then get on the train to Nashville. And she said whether it was 3 p.m. in the afternoon or 3 a.m., if she finished a song, she would want her mother to hear it. And so she would wake her mother up so she could hear the whole song, but she would never let someone listen to a song unless it was completely finished. She didn't want to start in on something and then get swayed by their opinion. And she never, even though she has some other people like Eddy Arnold listed on songs, she never co-wrote a song. She always wrote by herself. And she joked that, you know, Picasso didn't have a co-painter. So she knew what she wanted to do with the song, and she would write it. Sometimes people would give her the idea or the title for a song, so she would list them as a co-writer, but she never had a co-writer.